fasted because I was only that. He's all strong as fuck. So Zurdo's gonna have a rude awakening. That's what I'm saying.
At the end of the day, I don't take no hostages. When the Mexican monster comes out, all he wants to do is inflict as much damage until the job is done. That's exactly what's gonna happen. And I'm sorry, Zurdo, but I'm gonna be. And that's how it's gonna be. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is a Mexican monster's territory. Nobody's safe when they step in that ring. Kill or be killed. For me, that's my mentality. I've always seen myself as a warrior. I prepare myself like a warrior, and when I get in the ring, I go in there and I try to. If I don't go out there and finish the job, they're gonna try to finish me.
De mayo la batalla de Puebla. Es una guerra. Creo que va a ser una guerra también arriba del ring.
Yep, put it together.
Es la pelea pues más importante de mi vida.
Tension is building ahead of David Benavidez versus Gilberto Ramirez, with both fighters locked in for the showdown. The matchup is shaping into a heated clash set for May 2. David Benavidez is training hard and staying fully focused on preparation, putting in the work needed to stay sharp and ready for what comes next.
It's me versus the world, and it's kill or be killed in there, and I'm not gonna be killed.
You guys are gonna see a different monster that night. All the questions that everybody has, he's gonna answer to all of them. And now they're gonna say that he is the face of boxing.
People still haven't seen the best of David Benavidez, and I know how hard I work. And I've always said the fights are won in the training camps.
One of David Benavidez's trainers could read his readiness in his eyes, noting that he always pushed a little extra in every training camp. He felt that added intensity would show on fight night, pointing to May 2 as the moment everything would come together.
You can read from his eyes because I know him for so long that he's ready, right? He pushed a little bit extra. Every camp he has something a little bit that he wants to push extra. And I feel it, I see it, and it's gonna show that night of the fight. You will watch and see. May 2nd, the fight is on, let's go.
Benavidez made it clear he chose tougher fights on purpose, pushing for top opponents. Benavidez pointed to matchups with Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, David Morrell, and Gilberto Ramirez as proof he chased risk and elite competition.
Because I've been calling for those fights. I've been calling for myself. I made the fight happen with Caleb Plant. I made the fight with Booby. I made the fight with Morrell. I made the fight with Zurdo Ramirez. Me. Because I'm ready for this risk.
Furthermore, David expressed strong self-belief, saying he feels destined for this path and is fully committed to making the most of it. Benavidez added that he stands behind everything he says and believes any opponent who steps in front of him will be defeated.
I feel like this life is made for me. God put me here for a reason on this path, and I'm gonna take full advantage of that. Everything I say, I believe. And everybody that will go up against me will be defeated.
David also admitted that boxing carries real fear, especially when big fights become reality after calling them out. Benavidez explained that while confidence is always there, one mistake can change everything, emphasizing that the danger and risk are what truly define the sport.
I'm not gonna lie, boxing is scary. So when those decisions are made, when you call out these people and it's time to make that fight happen, it gets scary. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and be like, oh, well I'm so confident this and that. Yeah, I'm confident in myself, but you make one wrong mistake, anything can go south. This is what makes boxing boxing, the risk.
Meanwhile, Showbiz believed David Benavidez already had the foundation of an all-time great, both mentally and physically, but needed to fully prove it inside the ring. He noted Benavidez had built one of the strongest resumes in boxing and saw this moment as the perfect opportunity for him to show what true greatness looks like under pressure.
I think he is an all-time great already in here and in here. So now he just got to show it. I think he's been building the right building blocks. I think he already has one of the better resumes in boxing. And I think this is the perfect time and perfect opportunity to show people what greatness looks like and how greatness is being manufactured and how greatness is being shaped.
On the other hand, Zurdo Ramirez has stayed sharp in training camp as he prepares for his clash with David Benavidez, maintaining full focus and discipline throughout his preparation.
What you got left? How about you want it, Zurdo? Let's go. Push, push, push. Knuckles, knuckles, turn, turn, turn.
Zurdo Ramirez has been in full training mode, staying consistent with his preparation. Ramirez continues to build his condition and sharpen his focus for fight night.
Si la pelea, pues va a ser un buen match esta noche.
Push! Time!
Furthermore, Ramirez felt that being comfortable in the weight class could give him an edge, but still expected a tough, competitive fight. Ramirez emphasized that it would be a strong matchup for both fighters with no easy moments.
I think it will give me an advantage because I've been in this weight more time than him. But I think it'd be a great fight for both of us.
Ramirez took the fight out of self-belief, stating he expects to win on May 2. Ramirez also predicted the matchup could end up as a Fight of the Year contender.
I took the fight because I'm believing myself and I will win this May 2nd. And I mean, it'd be fight of the year.
David Benavidez emphasized his transformation, saying he has built focus, discipline, hunger, and intensity through his work. Benavidez made it clear he ignores outside opinions and is determined to become the fighter he believes he's meant to be, now fully stepping into his identity as the Mexican Monster.
When I was in the gym before a sparring session, I was like, we're gonna beat this little fat kid. You know what I mean? He's nothing. I'd get in the ring, a monster comes out. It's been like that since I was a little kid.
Meanwhile, Jaio Pitaya called it a strong matchup, pointing out that both David Benavidez and Gilberto Ramirez bring high work rates. He suggested Benavidez has the edge in youth and hunger, while implying Ramirez is more focused on the payday. Opataya added that Benavidez still seems driven by legacy and unfinished goals, which could make the difference.
Well, I think it's going to be a good fight. They both got high work rates. I believe Benavidez is younger and hungrier. You know what I mean? Zurdo's chasing that payday. That's why, I believe Benavidez is still chasing a bit more legacy. You know, he's got unfinished business. So.
Thank you.
Furthermore, Roy Jones Jr. described the matchup between David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez as a strong, exciting fight that fans should look forward to. Jones leaned toward Benavidez as the likely winner, but still respected Ramirez as a solid opponent, making it a competitive and meaningful clash.
Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez.
That's a good fight. I can't wait to see that. I think Benavidez definitely beats Zurdo, but it's a great fight.
However, Jesse Hart felt the fight would come down to desire, with David Benavidez holding the edge in hand speed and high volume output. Hart also warned not to overlook Gilberto Ramirez's punching power, noting he can hurt opponents despite not being a pure one-shot knockout artist. He explained that Benavidez's non-stop pressure and accumulation of punches could be the deciding factor, while questioning whether Ramirez could withstand that pace or respond with his own power to shift the momentum.
It's going to come down to who wants it more. I think Benavidez has an edge in hand speed and letting his hands go. But power, don't sleep on Gilberto Ramirez. Power, that boy can punch. That guy can really punch. I'm not saying that Benavidez can't take it. I'm saying that he can punch, and that's something to look out for. I believe that Benavidez's speed, his hand speed, and how many punches he throws is going to be the difference in this fight. You know, he's not a hard puncher, he's a volume puncher. That's what we don't know about David Benavidez. He's not a really, really hard, but he beats you up. He beats you up, and the punches do sting, and they wear you down. I'm curious to see how Zurdo Ramirez is going to handle that. Is he going to get wore down by the 6th or the 7th, by the volume and the pace? Or is he going to be able to sustain his own momentum with his own pace and put the power on Benavidez to hurt him?
Jesse Hart questioned whether size will play a major role in the fight, pointing out that Gilberto Ramirez is a naturally big fighter, similar in physical presence to David Benavidez. Hart described it as a near-even matchup in terms of size and weight, with both fighters expected to come forward and engage. He also noted that Ramirez being a southpaw adds another layer of difficulty for Benavidez, especially against a bigger southpaw compared to the ones he has faced before.
Weight is going to be a much factor on Benavidez because of the size of Zurdo Ramirez. Zurdo Ramirez is a very, very big guy. And such as David Benavidez, I just want to see, this is body for body. tail for tail, this is evened up to me. As far as the mass, as far as the weight, as far as Gilberto is coming forward too. We saw that with Bivol. He's still in the had that stuff, but again, he's southpaw. I'm curious to see how Benavidez is going to deal with a big southpaw. He dealt with a little southpaw in Demetrius Andrade, but now I'm curious to see how he deals with Zurdo Ramirez southpaw side.
Robert Garcia also praised Zurdo Ramirez as a skilled, respectful fighter with solid technique and real punching power. He acknowledged Ramirez's experience and ability, but suggested there have been moments where his toughness and hunger can be questioned, particularly after taking damage in previous fights.
Hey, Benavidez or Zurdo?
Zurdo's a great person. I swear to God, I love Zurdo. He's a great dude. He's a very respectful person. Straight up Mexican. He parties hard when he parties too.
He does.
He don't give a man, he just skills, but Benavidez is just a monster, man. Benavidez, look, skills-wise, I think Zurdo's a great skilled fighter. But when it comes to the hunger, the attitude, the fucking Benavidez don't give a man. Benavidez got cracked hard by that Cuban. What's his name? What's the Cuban?
Dave Morrell.
Dave Morrell.
On the other hand, Sebastian Fundora picked Benavidez to win the clash, pointing to his speed as the key factor. Fundora felt Benavidez looked too fast in his last fight, especially against bigger opponents moving up in weight, who are usually slower despite their strength. He also noted Benavidez carried real power and had improved his distance control. Even without ever sparring him, Fundora still saw him as a unified champion and ultimately favored him in the matchup.
I have David winning that fight. David's too fast, man. We saw in his last fight how he's way too fast for these light heavyweights, you know. He's going up to Cruiserweight, they're a lot slower. They're stronger, but David's strong too, you know. David's real fast.
Did you ever spar Zurdo?
I never did. I never did. But he's a talented fighter, you know, unified champion for a reason, you know. Smart fighter. He's been getting a lot better as well with his distance, but I still favor David.
Meanwhile, Sean Zettel noted that David Benavidez was stepping into a new test, facing a naturally bigger opponent for the first time. Zettel warned that Jose Ramirez could not afford to show up in poor condition as he did in his previous fight, where he appeared soft around the midsection. He made it clear Ramirez would need to come fully prepared to offer any real resistance. Still, Zettel believed Benavidez's speed and overall skill level were on another tier, suggesting it would be too much to handle over the course of the fight.
David, for the first time, is fighting someone bigger than he is, and I don't think Ramirez, he better not show up like he did for the Dorticos fight, his last fight, where he's very fleshy, soft around the midsection. He's got to come correct, and if he does, you know, he'll provide some resistance, but, you know, Benavidez is one of the best fighters in the world.
Callum Smith described it as a strong matchup, but felt Benavidez's speed would likely be the difference. Smith believed Benavidez carried faster hands, while Ramirez wasn't as quick in comparison. He downplayed the size factor, noting neither was a natural cruiserweight, despite moving up from 168. Smith also suggested Benavidez had been getting solid sparring at the higher weight, and seemed comfortable enough to make the jump, implying confidence in how things had gone in training.
It's a good fight, really good fight. I just think speed with Benavidez probably maybe be the difference. I think he's got really fast hands. I don't think Ramirez is the fastest. I think the speed, and I don't think Ramirez, neither of them are genuine massive cruiserweight, so I don't think the size will be too much of a factor. Although we're seeing head to head and Ramirez looks massive, to be fair, considering they both come from 168. But yeah, I just think the speed of Benavidez will probably be... Plus they've sparred a lot as well, so I don't think if Benavidez fancied it too much, he doesn't have to go up to cruiserweight. So the fact that he's choosing to do it means he probably likes how the spars went.
Kermel Moton is expecting a strong clash and leaned toward David Benavidez, calling him a relentless fighter with a dog mentality that's hard to handle. Moton acknowledged the challenge of Gilberto Ramirez moving up in weight, but still pointed to Benavidez's pressure, toughness, and mindset as the key edge.
It's gonna be a great fight. You know, I'm rooting for Benavidez. I know he's a dog. He'll go in there and do his thing. I feel like I give him the advantage. You know, I know he put a lot of hard work in the camp. You know, and I'm supporting him.
You say you give him the advantage, but he is the guy moving up 25 pounds, right? Like, is it just a skill thing?
Yeah, that, and just Benavidez. He got that in him. He got that dog in him. You know, that is hard to deal with. So we're gonna see how Zurdo handle it. But I'm rooting for Benavidez.
At the end of the day, these are just analyst opinions and breakdowns shaping the buildup around elite matchups defined by skill, high stakes, and no clear safety net for either fighter. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. More big fights, more reactions, and plenty more boxing content is on the way.